Good morning, beautiful internet people. I'm going to make this video in English because I want to explain something about this plane that I think is going to be very illuminating for a lot of people. At the moment I'm trying to understand how the temperatures of this plane works. So we have come here to Antarctica to experience how to fly this plane in extreme temperatures. I will do it in Antarctica with very low temperatures, and I will do it in Africa probably later with very high temperatures. So you will see more or less how it works. I am using my mod, the mod that changes the sound, and also the mod that links the oil temperature to a different variable that the variable that the file the plane by default links. I'm going to show you both in a minute. And in order to be able to look and monitor all the variable temperatures, I have done a couple of things. First of all, I'm launching the game into developer mode. So we have all these options here, and among them, this is the tools, behaviors. And if we come here, sorry, the filter, I was doing tests just before the recording. We can access all the local VARs that the plane has. So the normal variable that indicator shows, the one by default, is this. Needle, well, by the way, this the local VARs here are in Celsius for some reason. Not so, for example, needle outside temperature is 0.117. That is strange. Yeah, 20. It's a bit different. It shows here that one, needle oats, outside temperature according to the 0.1, but here in the indicator shows 25, 26 Fahrenheit. Let me do a calculation in a second. Sorry, my mistake. This is 30, 31, 32. Yes, so it's correct. 0, 0. Notice that the oil temperature coincides in Celsius with the Fahrenheit temperature. And this is one of the variables that the needle temperature, what it is, needle temperature, needle oil temperature 1 and 2 also coincides 150, 151. Coincides with the outside temperature. By default, the this indicator, oil temperature, is linked to this particular element, this variable. What I have done is rewired the software, so now this temperature is not linked to this variable, and I'll explain in a minute why I did that. It's linked to another variable called oil line. Oh, no, it's oil line, sorry, is line. Why not find it now? Because I'm not texting in the correct place. The filter is here. Sorry. Oil line to engine oil temperature. That also points 1.47. So this is the same one I have put here. So we don't have to open this. And this I explain in a second. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm fire up the plane. I'm going to also add some oil and change the oil because obviously we are at a very low temperature. I'm going to change the gradient maybe to a, we have not many oil. not a lot of oil. So I'm going to change to side 10, which allows us to work in this range, although we are in the limit. But let's try that one, side 10. And here as well. And I'm going to start the plane. I'm going to start the plane, and we're going to see how all these variables behave. Give me a second. One strange thing about this simulator is when you do an oil change, the temperature of the new oil is 15 degrees Celsius, and it doesn't affect the outside temperature. It's not going down, as you can see. It stays there in 15.117 as a minimum. So what I'm going to do now that I have done an oil change is I'm going to, sorry, I'm not going to start the plane. I'm going to relaunch the flight because I want to show it how it behaves from scratch. Okay, I'm not going to, just to avoid any alteration. Now we have the lowest or the most wintry oil of all. So I'm going to relaunch the plane to lower the temperature to have the outside temperature. Otherwise, it will never go below 15, as you can see here. Give me a second. I just reload the plane. Now we have, now the temperature is rising, but it's not going to rise much. It's 0 now, as you can see. And we have full oil in the left. I also created this small tool. All this is done with Lorbi, by the way. Lorbi Access and O's. I'm going to wait a little until the temperature is established. And in the meantime, everything is ready. The oil here I use is the SAAE10 from minus 20 degrees to 32 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to fire up the engine in a second. Okay, I'm going to do it outside the camera and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I have started engine 2 and I have opened the radiators. By the way, that's what I was going to explain. This is linked to this. So here radiator 1 is 100% open, radiator 2 100% open, and this is a number that is one of the variables here. Okay, this variable is what says if we play here lever oil shooter 1 100%, lever oil shooter 2 100%, but if we go to here, zone oil shutter temperature is the temperature in which the oil in the shutter, in theory, is. Okay? But the strange thing is this is not actually an indicator. Look at the of the temperature. Look at the radiator 2. Now the engine is close. The engine is not started. It's dead. And if we close the radiator, look, in theory the temperature of the number 2, which is not working, rises. So you have to take this number not as a temperature indicator, but like a variable that is going to show you how this radiator is affecting the temperature of the oil. Right now, because the engine 2 is stopped, it's not affecting it at all. But once we start the engine, this number will indicate how the oil temperature of the engine is going to be affected. I'll show you with the first one as an example, okay? Now, right now, the temperature oil number 1 is getting up. This is in Celsius, so now it's at 4 degrees Celsius. This is still very low, very cold, so we need to warm it up. We are idling at 1000 RPMs, and as you can see here in Fahrenheit, the temperature of the engine 1 oil is very low. You can monitor it here as well. I have the radiator totally open. So if I close it, I'm going to leave it open so you will see where this temperature is going to stop. Okay? So with the radiator open, the engine oil is going to warm, but to a certain point. It's not going to progress beyond that point. Okay, I'm going to, in the meantime, start the engine. Now we have both engines running. The engine number 2, I put the radiator at 0, so it's closed completely, and the radiator 1 is open completely. Let's see how that affects differently to both the oil temperature. The first one is still at 8 Celsius, and it's increasing very slowly, while the temperature oil number 2 is increasing a bit more rapidly. Look at the radiator indicator temperature here. This is that variable I told you before. And let's see also how the original bar, the needle, was called. Well, need okay, here you are. The needle oil temperature is staying at 3 degrees. It's not progressing through the temperature. That's why the indicator was booked from the beginning. The oil temperature never warmed beyond a point. Even with the completely closed radiator. Look at the two of them behave similarly, and I have one radiator fully open and one radiator closed. And now look how this other temperature is rising, and it is affected by how the radiators are open or closed. However, that's not the only problem this plane has. Okay, I could fix this one. So now this has a more accurate indicator. Look there, this is now very steady at 10 degrees. It's not going to go much beyond that. But the problem is, even if I open it just a little, close it a little. Let's say 90%. And I see how far it goes. I close it at 90%. Okay, let's close it at 50%. You can say that the temperature outside is very low. Yes, but I guarantee you that when we do all these experiments in a hot climate, it will behave more or less the same. 50% close, and the increase is very slow as well. The temperature of oil 2 is 20 Celsius. We need at least 40. So what I'm going to do now, you see, this is very slow again. So let's close both. And let's fly the plane, and you will see how it behaves all the time. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to get myself in line here in Antarctica to take off, and I'm going to wait until the oil temperature in both engines is at least 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, go back in a minute. So the flight what I'm going to do, I'm going to depart from, go to the flight plan. I'm going to depart from Echo Golf Alfa Romeo to Sierra Alpha Whiskey Bravo. Is a 344 nautical mile flight in Antarctica from 2 different stations, Rodera Research Station to Maraibo Base. As you can see, it's a challenging flight with this plane. A lot of you have told me that you're losing oil doing long flights. This is a 2 hours and 27 minutes. I did it yesterday as a test, and I haven't lost. I lost like 30 liters of oil, which is expected in a flight like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go with direct flight, a straight flight, and see how it behaves with cold weather. Temperature now of the second engine 2 is almost 40. Still the temperature of the engine 1 is still low. I'm going to communicate with, if you're using my mod, I remind you that you can use the COM2. Let's do a depart to the east.
Ground November Tree Niner 77 Charlie ready to taxi east departure.
November Tree Niner 77 Charlie taxi to and hold short of runway tree 6 via taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
11700.
Taxi to and hold short runway tree 6 via taxiway Alpha 77 Charlie.
1700. And have not communication yet from the thingy, but the vector we have to go 040. Going to south, pointing south. So let's go runway 36. So we are departing north. We are not pointing south. Are we pointing south? South. Doesn't feel like we're pointing south. .24 to start moving towards the very short this one. I'm going to try to use the maximum of the runway. The direction to go. Because at the end of this is a mod, by the way. You can take these stations in Flight 2. think this is enough. We don't need to go to the end, and at the end there is a step. I already pulled there. I'm going to ask permission. And the lights. Oh, I'm going to lean the engine a bit. Line 0 north. I'm going to wait a little until temperature on the engine 2 is getting up. For some reason we have a problem. Pressure in the engine 1 is very low. Open and close. Look how the it's down. What is the problem with the engine? Pressure indicator is a bit weird. It should be here. This very low pressure. Because of this type of oil, maybe. I'm trying to open it. I'm going to lower the temperature to 40 degrees. How quickly it decreases temperature. That's very strange. Why the viscosity is so low? Oil pressure. I never did the 10. 60 is too warm. This oil. That's strange. Going down now. It seems that I have enough oil. The thing is, with this system, you are always that oil is going up or down. It's very difficult to keep it steady in its temperature. You see, I open it. Goes down very quickly, very rapidly, and even if I close it again, it takes a lot of time to get this figure up, so it will be cool the oil until this figure starts going up. It's a very strange situation. So which is the temperature of this oil? I don't know, but look how the pressure is losing here after 40. So what is the temperature I have to keep this oil? 30%? 30 degrees? Okay, so if we need to keep this oil at 30 degrees, it's going to be difficult to apply. Okay, never mind. Let's try it. The pressure is very, very low now. Let's see what happens. Pressure is steady now. I forgot to ask permission with all this.
7 Charlie, you are not cleared to take off.
Yep. Sorry guys, I didn't. Okay, so that's the thing. Let's try to keep, look, the pressure now is correct, around 40 degrees. So that's the thing. And look, the pressure is correct. Let's get the engine a bit back. Look how it's going down still. It's still going down, and I close the radiators again because this figure, this number is increasing very slowly. That's the thing with this plane, which is very strange. So you have to keep an eye on the temperatures all the time. and under pressure. Look, now it's creeping, it's going up again, but this figure is still 1712. Okay, so that means that it's going to be cooling the oil. So the moment this figure, so this is what it matters for me now, reaches, for example, 40 degrees. It depends, it's different in every grade oil. I will have to lower it down. My mistake. Went too far. So you see, this is still a radiator's close, and the temperature is going down, down, down. The moment this temperature starts rising again a bit, but if you can see here, the pressure is correct. 70 psi. And here, the temperature in Fahrenheit is around 90, which corresponds to 30 degrees. Maybe this oil, which is for very winter climate, works at 30 degrees. I don't know. So this number is going to be an indicator. Look that now the number is higher than this, but this is still cooling the engine. So this is not actually a temperature number. It's not temperature. It's a coefficient. So I think it's once it reaches 40, it's going to start heating the oil. Let's test it. The previous flight I did yesterday, I did it with grade oil 20, not 10. 10 is a bit low. And I had to keep the temperature of the oil around 60, 70 Celsius. Okay, it seems that this started to become stable now. As I said, it's up to 40. When you start heating it. Look at the temperature oil too, it's 26 degrees, but the pressure is fine. That's very strange. This plane is very strange. Let's increase the... I forgot to ask permission.
November 3977 Charlie is type 8 miles northeast of Echo Golf Alpha Romeo, 3,800 feet. Request flight following.
November 3977 Charlie approach. Squawk 0353.
Squawk 035377 Charlie.
Wait, what was the...
77 Charlie radar contact 9 miles northeast of Echo Golf Alpha Romeo 5,000 feet. Altimeter 28.90.
Roger 77 Charlie.
Okay, 43. And look, now it's increasing. So this number, it doesn't matter the type of oil you have. If it reaches 40, it increases. But 38 in this case is starting to increase already. So you have to monitor the temperature of the oil, but also the temperature of this. So how will it work? Okay, let's say that you have to keep the temperature of the oil. We are already seen that it starts decreasing the pressure at 60 degrees. Well, let's say that I want to keep it in between 30 and 50. the oil temperature. So I look at this number, I forget about this number now, and now I'm focusing to the oil temperature. And you don't need to do that, but you can just check the pressure, and when you see it getting down, you do what I'm about to do, and you'll see. So now the temperature of the oil is increasing. But I'm fine because in between, as we saw, 30, let's put 30 to 60. 30 to 5 to 50. 30 to 50, I'm happy. Let's get through the clouds so we can see how this plane behaves in clouds and low temperature. The outside temperature is reaching 0 now, Fahrenheit, which is minus 32, I think, or minus. Zero it is minus 17 degrees Celsius. Have 70 gallons in the right, in the left, and 60 in. Let's move to the 36. Still happy. Look at the oil, still 80 pounds of oil. We haven't lost a single, well, we will lost around 10 pounds per hour. One gallon around 1 gallon per hour. Okay, 40. The problem is, and the problem of this plane is, if I open minimally.
77 Charlie contact Punta Arena Center on 119.7. Good day.
119.777 Charlie.
It doesn't matter how small I open the radiator, it start cooling the engine. So one possibility is reducing the effect of the radiators. I can try to make my physical levers less linked to the virtual levers, so they open at 20% of the radiators and not the full range. I don't know. Okay, 42. We're still warm. We're still cold. Sorry. But all right. It's interesting to see how the clouds affect the plane. Considering that we are at minus 17 degrees outside. Okay, look, the pressure is you're going to start losing a bit of pressure. Again, different grades, different oil grades, different behavior. I'm going to keep it a bit ready up. Seems that no much effect. We have a bit of ice in the window, but it's not affecting the flight. We could use the anti-ice here, but I want to not use anything to see. And also we have here a cabin temperature level is lower, so it's in cold now. I want to see if there is any effect. It doesn't seem that there is much effect. Going through a cloud at -17, except a bit of cosmetic ice on the window. You're out. Okay, look, we are starting to lose pressure. 51. As I said, with this particular grade, it's after 50. So what I do is, let's start with the radiator one. Look at this number. Okay, I'm going to lower it until 40. So I open the radiator. It doesn't matter if you open it a lot or just a bit. It will lower it down. It's a speed. And now I close it at 40. And I will do the same with the second one. I open it now, the second one, and I lower this figure until it gets 40. And I close it again. So I avoid the temperature dropping, you see? And I can keep more or less, look, it's going down a bit, but I can keep it at 50. I could close it even more, let's say 30. 30, 31, 31. Now the temperature is decreasing a bit, so I can make it go down a bit, and I can keep the temperature I want in the engines. Just avoiding excessive heating. But I have to look at this number. It's this number which is telling me how the oil is going to behave. Ice, nothing worrying. You see 47, and now the pressure is in between. The pressure is in between 60 and 70. If you don't want to use this, once you see that the pressure is starting to drop, just open it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. And remember that it takes like a while for them to start crawling again. Look, it's still going down. 30. So the behavior is a bit strange, because what you cannot do is keep a particular point in the radiators that keep the temperature of the oil steady. If you try, let's try to do that, just opening a slightly, very, very small amount. Let's wait until the temperatures of the radiators go up again, and we can try again. Bye. And still 80. We haven't lost a lot of oil. Degrees. But 40 degrees, no, 34. It seems alright for this grading. I could use the 20 grade oil. We're at almost 10,000 feet. No ice. I haven't used the pitot it, neither anti-ice. It seems that in this plane it's not needed. I know that you need humidity, blah blah blah, but I think there is humidity here, and we're at minus 17, so it should have been ice all around. Even if I open, look at radiator 1 indicator here. Okay, I'm going to open it so you can see it properly. I'm going to try to open it only 1%, okay? The figure, this number is telling us if it is heating or cooling. I'm going to open it only 1%, this is still increasing. 3, okay. Let's do 11 out of its shit. Okay. Look, even at 2% is decreasing rapidly. You see? 48, 47, 46. So it's very difficult to get a point in which is neither increasing or decreasing. And it happens, it doesn't matter which temperature or which oil you are using. So you have to be constantly adjusting this lever to avoid losing oil and damaging the engine. And that's why this plane presents so many challenges for many people. Sorry, I mean, English is not my first language. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here. You can do the test yourself. See, you don't have this. You can use the. So I show you this behavior. You have everything here as well. This var is what is called. This one is called oil. Oil needle. Oil line to cooler. No, light to cooler. No, this is. I can't remember how it's called now. And this is the temperature of the returning oil. No, it was called oil radiator. Okay, it's the sun. Can give you also exactly outside temperature -20, engine front -20, engine back this one. Zone oil shooter temperature 1 and zone oil shooter temperature 2. And this is the ones which I think they're bringing problems. Also, I would love to see. Look at this. Cabin and cockpit are at -20. Even if I come here and increase the temperature, it doesn't seem much affected. Cabin heat, no difference. We keep the pressure because our temperature is around 30-40 Celsius, which is around 100 Fahrenheit. Five. Lower them the nose a bit, but climbing too much. When we're 70, we're increasing rapidly. So let's decrease this intensity a bit. So put the first one. Let's put it at 40. Now this one at 40. And now, okay. Now we keep the temperatures in between 40 and 50 degrees. And that's what you do. So you repeat this process through the whole flight to keep the oil temperature steady in a window of temperature you want. I will recommend for size 10 in the test I have done is in between 40 to 55. In size 20 is in between 50 to 65, and in size 30 I haven't tried the 50. Size 30 is I think it's in between 50 and 80 around Celsius. So I'm going to keep doing that for a while. This is a 2-hour flight, so I'm going to stop the recording for a while so you don't get a 3 hours video, and I'll go back if there is anything interesting. Look, I want to explain it again because now the point in which the temperature is not moving is when this indicator is 55, 54. So if I could keep it all the time at 53, 54, it will neither be increasing, decreasing. But it's impossible to reach a point in which this keeps steady or goes very rapidly low. Look, at 5%, 4%, 3%, it's going, at 3% is going down. But very rapidly. You know what I mean? So it's impossible to keep a position in the radiator that maintains the temperature stable. That's why it's bringing a lot of problems to everyone. because when you are flying, if you don't keep an eye constantly into it, it is going to make the temperature very low or very high. Any position of the radiator. You have to up, down all the time. And to be honest, at the moment I don't know how to fix it. I will try several things, but so far I don't know how to fix it. So if you have any suggestions or idea, okay, we'll carry on. As you can see, we started with 80 pounds of oil, and we still have 75, 74. It's been like an hour already in the flight. We have covered half of the distance approximately. We haven't got yet communication with the beacon. I'll see you in a bit. Just a second ago, I had a reading for the beacon, the VOR station. So it's 160 kilometers, knots. My speed, 193 nautical miles to the station, and 72 minutes. As you can see, this is a long flight. We're currently at 9,500, and we have lost just 10 pounds of oil. Just that. I mean, keeping the temperatures. Now the point in which it starts increasing is 60. So it depends also on speed. With the speed, more speed, more cooling, which is realistic. And what I'm doing is waiting until the temperature of the oil gets around 50 and then lower it down a bit. I've been doing that for the past hour. You can see you can fly this plane long distance without losing fuel. Without losing oil, just if you keep those pesky temperatures, oil temperatures down. But as I said, this is not how it was supposed to be. This is a big book, so Otmar, if you are looking at this, I don't think you are, but if you are watching this, please fix it, because the problem is these local VAR are coded and compiled, so I cannot access them. I cannot modify how they behave. This is part of the plane I cannot touch, or at least I don't know how to. So if any of you have the knowledge to how to fix this, please let me know. I will be willing to do it. 40, you see, pressure is stable in between 60 and 70, temperature around 100. We're -2 Fahrenheit outside temperature, which is around -20 in Celsius. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to wait until I open the radiator again. It's a pity that there is no way to keep this figure steady. You could put it in, for example, 60 steady, and it will keep the temperature of the oil stable. You can. And if you open them a little, look how quickly we start going down. And if you try it in hot climate, it's more or less the same. We'll do it. I will do another flight later. Try it. Put it in 50. This one. Close. Okay, close. They go again, go up again, and And the temperature looks stable there in 51. And now it starts creeping up again. This one is going down. Have some momentum. And in no time they will start going up again. Also depend on the speed and everything, but more or less you keep them in control. They're going down still, but when they reach 60, around 60 in the rad, the radiator in this, in the coefficient or whatever this figure is. Okay. 60. How the number is starting to slow down. This one is already stable, almost. Now it's going to creep up again. And now temperatures start rising again. And this one as well. Around 60 this time with this speed and with this external temperature. So that way we keep the pressure and the temperatures in line, in the range. Okay. See you in a minute. We are now 10 minutes away from the base. The flight has been around 2 hours and a half in total. We almost consumed all the fuel. I think my calculations were not that good. Very, very short. I have less than 10 gallons in the left and around 10 in the right. I still have 20 gallons, which is around 1 hour more, but well, I still have fuel, which is the important thing. I have lost I had 80 pounds of oil, and in the right engine I think I still have 42, so I burn half of the oil, a bit less than half, and then the other one I have 50.
118.177 Charlie. Goodbye. Approach November, Tree Niner, 77 Charlie, 2,800 feet.
November Tree Niner 77 Charlie, approach altimeter 29.01 radar contact, continue.
29.0.
Tower November, Tree Niner, 77 Charlie, 21 miles southwest, 2,900 feet to land.
We're going to land now.
November Tree Niner 77 Charlie Tower.
Straight and runway 06.
Wind calm, make straight in runway 06.
Fly straight in runway 0677 Charlie.
Let's go. Get ready. In the top of that hill. Going to do a last oil temperature control. See if I can see the base from here. Cannot see from here. Is there on the top mountain? trying to sit to my right because it's 06. Six is this one. 624. I cannot see because it's on top of that here. High. The VR is behind it, just behind it. So if I go direct to it, this thing is not a precision, so it can be right or a bit left. Yesterday when I was doing the flight, they gave me the opposite one, so I went to the place, 3000, move it down a bit, slow down. We'll go there, we'll fly it, take a look, and do it again. Because I cannot see the runway. Some buildings over there. There's definitely there on top of that thing. Here we go. I cannot see it. I don't know where it is. In the middle of the mountain. Yeah. Seeing is believing. Where the hell is that? Ah, there it is. I can see it. That's it. Okay.
Charlie, when call clear to land runway 06.
Cleared to land runway 0677 Charlie.
Look how the radiator has gone down to almost zero. This is not knots, 6 miles per hour. Okay.
Ground November, Tree Niner, 77 Charlie taxi to northeast parking.
November Tree 977 Charlie taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Delta 77 Charlie.
Okay, I don't know if I can go any further, so I'm going to stop here. That was the entire flight. 2 hours and a half approximately. Beautiful airport, by the way. Beautiful airport. Let's kill the engine. And that's it. That was it. 2 hours and a half. I started with 80, 35 is the remaining fuel. Look at the temperature now is going down, but the radiator is going up because it always goes up when it's close. Very strange, this thing. So you see that 2 hours and a half is achievable. I haven't lost any oil, except what you expected, which you expect like around 1 gallon per hour, around 8 pounds. 2 hours will be 16 pounds. I lost a bit more than expected, but not dramatically like some people have reported. And that's it. That's the flight. Well, I had the engine running at the beginning a bit, and it's the most extreme oil. Temperatures were very low today, and we will do another test with very high temperatures and see how it behaves. I hope has been illustrated. As you can see with this small tool, controlling these two figures, you can do you can pinpoint the temperature of the oil, which is the most delicate thing in this airplane. But again, I want to stress the fact that I don't think this behaves as it should be, because it's impossible to leave a position in the oil shooters that keeps the temperature steady. We'll do more testing with high temperatures, and I will try to fix it somehow, this problem that this plane has. I see you in the next video. This time, hello beautiful people, internet people. This time we are in Africa. We are going to depart from Birao, Foxtrot Echo Foxtrot, India. The temperature outside is 91 Fahrenheit, which is around 33 Celsius. And we're going to fly is 1 hour 45 minutes to the airport of Foxtrot Tango Tango Alpha, which is also at 91 Fahrenheit. The same temperature, both airports. Actually 36, the destination. As you can see, the temperature oil is already going up. However, I'm going to replace it because obviously with temperatures reaching 91, I have to do a oil change. Let's try the Psi 50. So we will try the opposite exact of the spectrum. Do the change of oil. And also, obviously, well, we'll fill it completely. Look how we empty. I'm going to use 140 liters, sorry, gallons. I think it's gallons. Gallons, around 140 gallons of fuel for this flight. I don't think I need, and I will that many, and I will get everything. I will take everything. How do you say? Empty. The plane is going to be empty. As you can see, when you replace the temperature, it gives gives the oil this temperature, which is not the right one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the flight. It's 15 degrees with the other one, and it's 23 degrees. It doesn't change it. I assume it's like it's not affected by the exterior temperature, no matter you do. Open radiators 35 degrees. Obviously, if you close them, sky's the limit, as you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Oh, the oil in the second temperature. Oh, I think it is a bug that it gives the temperature and it doesn't allow it to move. What happens if I just check? If I do make so now and feels the temperature of everything, is it going to change also the temperature? I think so. He's putting the fuel, refilling the fuel. I'm going to wait until it finishes, and then I will reset the flight so it takes the new temperature correctly. Give me a second.